What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you're having a most wonderful, magical, fantastical Thursday and are ready for some Gym Leader Challenge action, because that's what we've got on the agenda this evening. GLC League night here at Full Grip Games. And man, oh man, I feel like I have just had a whirlwind last few weeks, and it all ends here, tonight, today. Because tomorrow, 4th of July, I am leaving to go on a family vacation. So this will be my last stream until I get back from vacation, which will be 2 weeks from, like a week and a half or whatever. It'll be, I'm off all of next week, and then I'll be back the following week. So yeah, I'll be back in a couple weeks. And I'm excited. It'll be the first vacation I go on with my baby boy. We got the whole family going. My parents, Natalie's mom. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And I got a new video coming out on the main channel as well, for tomorrow. So that video will be wrapped up tomorrow. Honestly, I filmed an ad for the 4th of July sale at Full Grip Games. 15% off everything site-wide, July 4th through 11th, by the way. And I gotta say, folks, I think it's the finest Full Grip ad I have ever filmed. My glasses are disgusting. I need to wipe them off. Dare I say, it is the finest Full Grip Games advertisement that I have ever made. It is an instant classic. So I'm excited about that. And the video is good too. I don't know. I've been goofing around with the green screen, just having too much fun with the green screen. There are so many shenanigans you can get into when you have the green screen set up. Honestly, so this is another video where I'm just going ham with the green screen. So that's so that'll be fun, and that video should come out tomorrow. Sephra, who does all the thumbnails for the channel, is cooking up the thumbnail as we speak, and I should be done editing it tomorrow. I got to pop into the office early tomorrow and continue working, because it's still in progress. But you know what else is in progress? League night here at Full Grip Games, GLC League nights. Let's go. Ben Morse is back from vacation. And we've got our round 1 players ready to go here. We've got Peter Nogue and Cam Armstrong. Let's go. Small night tonight. We've got 13 players. Still a good turnout for a Thursday night Gym Leader Challenge in July. I know a lot of folks out there have got things that they're doing, like me next week with family vacation. Let's go. Round 1 getting underway here at Full Grip Games. Peter Nogue versus Cameron Armstrong. Looks like we've got grass versus colorless. And let's get that overlay up. No Raging Bolt EX here tonight, folks. That's right. This is Gym Leader Challenge, so there are no rule box cards allowed in GLC formats. Little guys only. Like this fan wrote him here. Only cards without a rule box are allowed for play in Gym Leader Challenge format. So no EX Pokemon, no V-Stars, no Pokemon V, Radiant Pokemon, anything like that. No rule box cards. The decks also are monotype, like a Gym Leader might have, right? Hence the name Gym Leader Challenge. And the format is also singleton, kind of like Magic the Gathering's Commander format. Speaking of Magic the Gathering, Cam Armstrong is a Magic the Gathering player who has been expanding their breadth into the Pokemon TCG lately and has been doing pretty well here in GLC League Nights. As we see, Cam's got a real strong opening with Fan Rotom, got Fan Call, Bidoof, Doduo, and Minccino off of the Fan Call. And it looks as if Cam is all set up for a powerful turn 2 with all those consistency Pokemon set up. Peter also looking like he is having a strong opening with Ball Guy, and it appears as if Peter is playing a grass deck that uses Cherrim to accelerate energy into play. So that's pretty cool. Cherrim's got the Spring Bloom ability, which allows you to attach a grass energy from your hand to one of your non-Pokemon V, non-GX, non-rule box Pokemon as often as you like during your turn. And the funny thing about Cherrim is that in Gym Leader Challenge format, there are no rule box Pokemon, so you can just attach those energy to whoever you please. Yo, thank you so much, Brady, for that sub in the 72 months. How's it going, Brady? Nice to see you. Thank you so much for the sub, dude. Hope you're doing well. With Ball Guy, Peter is going to be able to set up real well in this opening turn. Search out all the basics that he wants in order to start evolving next turn. And then this Gossifleur in the active spot is also just really good. The Gossifleur has an attack that allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon, put them straight onto your bench. So Peter could save some of those ball search cards to search out evolutions if he decides to use that Gossifleur attack. And it looks like that is what he's opting to do here. As we can see, Gossifleur searching out 3 more basic Pokemon, Bidoof, Turtwig, and Cherubi. Cherubi on the bench is that key piece since it does evolve into Cherrim. And means next turn, Peter will be able to start accelerating energy into play with that Spring Bloom ability. We see Cam's got Dodrio and Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking. That's a nice combo there. Dodrio has got the Zooming Draw ability, which allows you to place a damage counter on Dodrio and draw a card. So with Cypher Maniac's Code Breaking, Cam can stack 2 cards and then draw into one of them instantly. It would be cool if Cam stacked maybe Bibarel and then another card, right? Because then you could, like, draw into both of those. Or, like, Chinchino and another card, right? So that then you could draw into both of the cards that you stack. Well, let's see. Looks like Zooming Draw is going to be able to pick up one of those cards, right? So here we go, Zooming Draw, and take the top deck, and then Jet Energy onto the Fan Rotom. That's a great call there. And Assault Landing will take the knockout for Cam. Cam going to go up first prize of the match. And then we see that they stacked the Hop's Choice Belt as well. I do think I would have liked to see Cam combo that into either the Zooming Draw into one of those other Pokemon. Is that a double tail? Or Double tails on Timer Ball. You've got to be kidding me. This never happens. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. Timer Ball, right when you need it most to start setting up your deck, and Timer Ball flips double tails. That is extremely unfortunate there for Peter. And a Timer Ball has got a lot of detractors in Gym Leader Challenge format. There's some players will not even consider playing this card because of its 25% fail rates. And we see that 25% rearing its ugly head right there. Peter is not out of plays, though. Does have teammates and will be able to search his deck for any 2 cards he wants to put into his hand, since one of his Pokemon did get knocked out last turn. Teammates is just an incredible card, especially in Gym Leader Challenge format, because there are so many opportunities for this card to be activated. It's not like standard format where you might just lose if 3 of your Pokemon get knocked out, right? In standard format, sometimes in standard format, I mean, there are times when decks in standard can take 5, 6 prizes all in one turn, in which case teammates may never be activated. But in Gym Leader Challenge formats, you're almost always going to have probably 5 turns where teammates could be an active supporter. In standard format, I mean, if you have 3 2-prizers get knocked out for game, then you only have 2 different turns that you could play teammates. So teammates is very strong in this singleton non-rule box formats, and we see Peter making up for that Timer Ball failure by getting cards like Turffield Stadium and Evolution Incense. Peter may be able to, I'm imagining getting Grottle. Yes, Grottle is going to be a key piece to this setup, because Grottle has got the Sun-Drenched Shell ability, which allows you to search your deck for a Grass Evolution Pokemon, or a Grass Pokemon, excuse me, and put it into your hand. So that could help Peter to continue setting up. And I think we're going to see that Turffield go for Grottle, Grottle Sun-Drenched Shell, go for Cherim, Evolution Incense. Can go get another evolved Pokemon. But it's looking like Peter may need to sack multiple prizes in order to get fully going. I would not like to see Peter use Evolution Incense to go get Roserade, because I'm pretty sure Peter used teammates to go get Evolution Incense, and then if Evolution Incense goes and gets Roserade, and then Roserade, okay, Laparfum, it's like, couldn't you have just gotten the card that you wanted off of Laparfum with teammates, right? Grass Energy to Grottle. And Itchy Pollen for 10 damage will help to buy Peter a little bit more time. But Peter is looking like he's going to go down 2 prizes before he really has an opportunity to get anything moving here. As this Fan Rotom is guaranteed to take another KO. Again, I think I would have liked to see Peter just search for the card that he wanted off of Roserade off the original teammates. I think the line probably got a little crossed there as he was routing his response to the quick attack from Fan Rotom. And just ended up getting multiple evolution search cards off of the teammates, and then kind of realized, like, I don't actually need both of these, as Grottle can just use Sun-Drenched Shell. So Cam is going to take knockout with the Fan Rotom, go up 2 prizes. Got Dodrio on the bench with an energy on it, and Hops Snorlax there as well with the Hops Choice Band attached. And Peter is promoting Grottle, looking like it's going to be a Torterra turn. Torterra is one of the strongest attackers in Gym Leader Challenge formats. With the Evo Press attack, does 50 damage for each of your evolution Pokemon in play. And right now Peter's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 200 damage with the Evo Press for just 2 energy is plenty of damage to knock out the Fan Rotom. Raihan going to be the support for turn, so Peter accelerates an energy from the discard pile to Torterra, and then gets to search his deck for any card he wants. Looks like it's Revitalizer is the choice. I think I would have liked to see Cameron place the Mist Energy that they put on the Dodrio onto Snorlax last turn, and the reason for that is that Snorlax will need 2 energy to attack with the Hops Choice Band attached to it. Dodrio attacks for a single energy. So if you attach that Mist Energy to the Snorlax, then this next turn you have an option to attack with either Snorlax or Dodrio with another singular energy drop from hand. So we can see how Cam would be in a stronger position if they had attached the Mist Energy to the Snorlax. It's not impossible for the Snorlax to be able to attack this turn. If Cam has access to double turbo energy, then that's fine. But you also give yourself the option to deal more damage with Snorlax if you don't have to use double turbo energy. Snorlax has the dynamic press attack, does 140 damage, and then Snorlax also has the extra helpings ability, which makes it so that it does 30 more damage. Hops Choice Band also makes it so that it does 30 more damage. So that's 200 damage, but if you attach double turbo energy, right, then you're only doing 180 damage. So we can see if Cam had just attached that Mist Energy to the Hops Snorlax instead of that Dodrio on the bench, Cam would be in a much stronger position, as they would be able to just attach another singular energy. Then Cameron would be able to just deal the full 200 damage, take the knockout. So I'm thinking Cameron with another Cypher Maniac's code breaking gets to stack the deck, use Zooming Draw, and does draw into that double turbo energy, but that's not going to be enough to knock out this Torterra. Cam's just going to be 10 damage short. It's 200 minus 20. And again, this could have all been alleviated if Cam had attached that Mist Energy to the Hops Snorlax instead of the Dodrio last turn. I know that Cam was probably getting ahead of themselves and thinking like, okay, well, I can just attach the double turbo energy to the Snorlax. Sure, of course you can. But if you know that Torterra can potentially come into play, Torterra has 190 hit points, and Snorlax does max out at 180 damage with a double turbo energy. So that is proving to be a key whiffed knockout. I mean, this is everything that Peter needs in order to get back in this game, because Torterra is going to be able to go 2 for 1. And that's exactly what Peter wants. when you got these big attackers like Torterra, you're really kind of banking on them going 2 for 1 to help you catch back up in the game, just like in standard format, where in standard format, if you have a big stage 2 Pokemon like Dragapult or Charizard EX, you're hoping that stage 2 Pokemon is not getting one-hit KO'd so that you can gain those turns back that you spent setting up. And it's the same kind of thought process here in Gym Leader Challenge format, except instead of 330 hit points, we're dealing with stage 2s that have 190 hit points. So Peter has got another card that I think that he is hoping will help him to buy an extra turn, the Hex Maniac. Hex Maniac going to make it so that neither player's Pokemon have abilities this next turn. So Cam not going to be able to access any of their abilities. And we do see they're trying to set up Porygon Z, as we see the Porygon there on the bench. And it's going to play Arven this turn to maybe help get that Porygon into play, because we've got Floatstone and Rare Candy. And then Rare Candy can bring that Porygon Z into play. And Porygon Z is just a really cool Pokemon. It's got the Crazy Code ability, which allows you to accelerate as many special energy from your hand to your Pokemon in play as you like during your turn. So super strong ability, and now Cam has got that Porygon Z online thanks to Rare Candy, but will not be able to use the Crazy Code ability until next turn because of the Hex Maniac that was played. Dodrio finishing off that Torterra for Cameron, dealing 100 damage with the Ballistic Beak attack. And Cam will go down to just 3 prizes remaining. Now Cam has got that Porygon, but no other consistency Pokemon in play. The Minccino and Bidoof have yet to evolve, which is somewhat concerning. I think that if Cameron can find Bibarel, then this deck is going to really start to come together, as Bibarel can use the Industrious Incisor's ability, fill the hand to 5 cards. Skwovet can use Nestash, put your hand on the bottom of the deck and draw just 1 card. So in that way, Cam can start to cycle through their cards, find a ton of special energy to rein into play with Porygon Z, and finish taking the final 3 prizes that they need in order to win. But Peter's got a pretty intimidating looking board going now with Cherim and Eldegoss, and then Versus Seeker to use Hex Maniac again. Peter is also taking full advantage of Cherim's Spring Bloom ability to just attach as many grass energy from his hand to his Pokemon as he wants during his turn. As you can see, multiple grass energy rained down onto that Zarude, and then grass energy also making their way onto Bramblegast. Bramblegast is one of my absolute favorite cards in the Grass Gym Leader Challenge pool. It's got 100 hit points and the Resilient Soul attack. The Resilient Soul ability, which makes it so that Bramblegast gets plus 50 hit points for each prize card the opponent has taken. So right now, since Cam has taken 3 prize cards, Bramblegast has 250 hit points, which is absolutely massive in a non-rule box format. Bramblegast is huge and is not done growing, because if Cam takes another knockout, then Bramblegast can have up to 350 hit points. If 5 prize cards have been taken, Bramblegast is just an absolutely massive Pokemon. But Peter did play Hex Maniac again with Versus Seeker. So back-to-back turns has shut down Cameron's abilities, and now Cameron is unable. Looks like Up, the parallel. Yeah, so Cam played parallel. Parallel gets bumped by the Chaotic Swell, the Stadium Eater. Yeah, Peter should have to take a prize, right? Yeah. I think Peter has to take a prize. Yeah. Now, Cramorant could still deal damage, even though abilities are turned off. The Fickle Spitting Attack does 120 damage if the opponent has exactly 3 or 4 prize cards. Floatstone can allow that Lugia to pivot out of the active spots. And then Cam does have Boss's Orders, so actually could use this as an opportunity to boss up the Brambleghast and knock it out because the abilities are turned off. So this could actually be huge if Cam uses Boss's Orders. I actually really want to see Cam use Boss on the Brambleghast, bring it up, knock it out. It's only got 100 hit points right now. Instead, Cam is going to choose to play Hex Maniac and knock out this Zarude. And I understand that play, right? I mean, that's going to bring Cam down to just 2 prizes remaining. I definitely understand that play, but this Brambleghast could end up being hugely problematic coming down the line if Cam is not able to deal with it. With only 2 prize cards remaining, that Brambleghast has got 300 hit points now. And that's just going to make it really difficult to deal with. And we can see that Brambleghast in the active spot now. How intimidating is this? A 300 hit point stage 1 Pokemon. Now, Brambleghast does have the powerful Needles attack. So you have to flip a coin for each energy attached to this Pokemon. The attack does 80 damage for each heads. So I'm sure Peter is hoping that his earlier luck with the Timer Ball Double Tails will be avenged through Brambleghast. Brambleghast is going to need to flip at least 1 heads to knock out this Squovit. And we've just seen a lot of Hex Maniac turns back to back to back. I mean, this is the 3rd straight turn without abilities as Peter used Hex, then Verse Seeker for Hex, and now Cameron played a Hex of their own. So abilities have been off for multiple turns. And Scoop Up Net going to allow Peter to reset the Roserade, which is very good. And then here we go. Powerful Needles. That's 2 tails. Oh my gosh. 2 more flips. 1 head's needed. And the 1 heads does get Peter there. Wow. Just 1 heads out of 4 coins flipped. Unbelievable. And we've got a tie game. 2-2 prizes. Cam's got Pokegear, finds Birdkeeper off of the Pokegear. Cramorant's not dealing any damage with the Fickle Spitting Attack now. Only works if you've got if your opponent's got 3 or 4 prize cards remaining. Now, this Brambleghast is a problem, but Cam's got Guzma in hand. You could see something like Powerful Energy onto Minccino, Guzma up Badoo, take the knockout. right? Because, like, I think Minccino does 10 damage or something, right? And then there's Versus Seeker as well. So Versus Seeker could get the game-winning Hex Maniac, right? I mean, this game's as close as they get. I really would have liked to see Cam use Boss to take out this Brambleghast last turn, because the Brambleghast is going to be hugely problematic. And I'm wondering if Cam sees the powerful energy on the Minccino and then pound knockout on Badoo. I mean, that does it. That gets Cam down to one prize, right? And then you just got to figure it out from there. I cannot believe that Cinccino and Bibarel have not made their way into play yet. That is crazy to me. Cam's board position is just so much stronger if either of those Pokemon are evolved. And unless both of them are prized, then I think that Cam absolutely should have prioritized setting up either Cinccino or Bibarel with the Cypher Maniacs code breaking earlier. Now it looks like Cam has chosen to go with Bird Keeper as a supportive return. I don't love that. Again, I think the optimal play would have been to go and use Bibarel. Oh, wow. Okay, it's not Cinccino with the Make Do ability. It is the special roll Cinccino. Holy smokes, dude. Okay. Now, this is why this is a game changer. I did not understand. I didn't understand the brew Cam was working with here. And I think Cam is kind of feeling like they're stuck. Yeah, I think the Bird Keeper was done incorrectly. Now they've got the the Porygon in the active. Should have sent up the Cramorant, as I think Peter is now pointing out. You definitely don't use Bird Keeper into your support Pokemon there. And Cam, unfortunately, just having to scoop. The Bibarel was indeed prized all game. And I think there, Cameron put up a good fight, but their inexperience with the deck kind of showing through a little bit, as there were some kind of misaligned sequences there and maybe some potential missed opportunities. But Peter able to overcome with his powerful grass deck featuring Cherim and Torterra. So very cool to see that grass deck in action. And hopefully Cam can watch that game back and maybe gain some insight as to some different plays that could have helped that game to go a little bit differently. Again, just a few key turns there with the colorless deck. A few key attachments. That early missed energy to the Dodrio instead of the Hop Snorlax. If the energy goes to the Hop Snorlax, then Hop Snorlax is one energy attachment away from doing 200 to the Torterra and denying Peter that 2-for-1 with Torterra in the mid game, choosing to use Boss's orders on the Brambleghast instead of playing Hex Maniac could have allowed Cameron to eliminate the Brambleghast from play, since Hex Maniac turns off both players' abilities until the end of the next turn. So Brambleghast ability was removed during that time because of Peter's Hex Maniac, and then Cam could have taken advantage of that Hex Maniac play to remove the problematic Brambleghast from play that turn. And then, of course, right there at the end, if Cam had used Guzma with the Cinccino, and then did a little strong, powerful colorless energy Cinccino knockout on Badoo, it would have at least bought can one more turn to try and figure everything out. Again, it is pretty tough to piece together enough energy to be able to win with that Bibarel as one of the final prize cards. So that was most unfortunate, but still, GG's. That's round 1. And Peter emerging victorious in our first of 4 rounds here this evening. Now we've got a new card got revealed. You guys see that Cinderace, dude? Holy smokes. I think this effect is so cool. These cards don't really see play in Gym Leader Challenge format, though, because they're the kind of cards that have the ability where you can just start like a stage 2 Pokemon if it's in your opening hand. And in a singleton format like Gym Leader Challenge format, it's just not a very reliable thing. Not a very reliable thing to bank your strategy on. But dang, how cool is this? All right, Scorbunny, Reboot, and Cinderace have been revealed from the upcoming Mega Brave set, which releases in Japan on August 1st. Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia will combine to form the majority of the international set, Mega Evolution, which releases on September 26th. Dang, dude, Reboot is so cool. How does Reboot continue to be the coolest Pokemon in the line? Just look how sweet that Reboot is. You know he's cool because he's hanging out on a trash can. Yeah, and then Cinderace, okay? It's got the ability Explosiveness. If this Pokemon is in your hand when you are setting up to play, you may put it face down as your active Pokemon. And that's the same Explosiveness ability that Luxray has, right? I think like literally translated the exact same, right? Explosiveness, yeah. So it looks like that's kind of what they're calling this ability now. To my knowledge, there's only one other card that has this effect, and it's Talonflame, right? I think those are the 3, right? You've got the Gale Wings, Talonflame, which same thing. If you're setting up to play and Talonflame's in your hand, you may put it face down as your active Pokemon. It's a stage 2, you know, otherwise you'd have to like evolve it into play. And we all know evolving is cringe in my Pokemon TCG. Why evolve when I can just simply summon things into play? Luxray, it's got the Explosiveness ability, and then Cinderace, again, with the Explosiveness ability. So those 3 Pokemon can all be started. But then there's also a Manectric. So I was going to say there's Manectric too. Don't forget Manectric. And Manectric has the, what's it called? Electric Start ability, right? Same thing. If you open the Manectric, you can start it. And, but this is only if you go second and the Pokemon's in your hand. So that's just horrible. It's like even worse. It's already bad enough that you have to like open the card in your opening hand. Now, what's funny, I mean, a lot of players, myself included, were kind of hype on this Luxray when it first got revealed because it seemed like an interesting card design and that maybe it would see some play. It, however, saw absolutely 0 play. Yeah, no play at all. Went from being released all the way to rotated. Never made an impact on standard format or Gym Leader Challenge. Nothing. This card, however, ended up finishing second place at the World Championships in 2016. So kind of a big deal. Talonflame actually was huge. It was the backbone of the Greninja Break deck that ended up finishing second place at the World Championships. So this was really good. And you know, Talonflame kind of gave hope to these other types of Pokemon going forward. But this was like a really kind of unique situation because Talonflame with the Gale Wings ability paired with Greninja, and the reason why it worked is because it was Greninja Break. And the strategy of the Greninja Break deck, which keep in mind is basically a stage 3 Pokemon because you have to evolve from like Froakie to Frogadier, Frogadier to Greninja, and then Greninja Break evolves into Greninja Break, which is what some people were saying Mega Evolution should have been because that's how Mega Evolution works in the game. But anyways, I digress. It's got the Water Duplicates ability, which says search your deck for up to 3 Frogadier and put them onto your bench. So the idea of the Greninja Break deck was that you would just try to get the turn 2 Water Duplicates and then evolve your board full of Frogadier into Greninjas and then evolve those into Greninja Breaks. And you were kind of this single prize snipe ability lock deck, and you didn't want to have any liabilities on your board whatsoever. So this deck only ever played like 3 Froakie. So you played like 3 Froakie, and then you played 4 Talonflame. And like Talonflame's got free retreat, and then you could use Talonflame's Arrow Blitz attack, which did 40 damage, and search your deck for 2 cards and put them in your hand. So you could use like Talonflame, Arrow Blitz, and go get Frogadier, and then next turn, free retreat into Frogadier, Water Duplicates. It's the original Mirage step. Yeah, if you've been playing the game, the game for the last couple years, then you know that this is like what Gardevoir used to do with the Mirage step attack. Search your deck for 3 Curlia, put them onto your bench. So like the same sort of thing, except the Greninja Break deck was crazy because it only played Talonflame and Greninja. Like that's it. There were no other Pokemon in that deck. That was it, right? And then Greninja was nuts because Greninja, it's crazy to me that this was like a tier 1 deck. Your stage 2 Pokemon had 130 hit points, dude. Shadow Stitching, 40 damage until the end of your opponent's next turn. Each Pokemon your opponent has in play in their hand and in their discard pile has no ability. So it's ability lock for 1 energy. It's got free retreat. And then it evolves into Greninja Break as well. And when you break evolve, the break Pokemon maintains all of the attacks and stats of the previous evolution. So it just gains the HP and the ability here. So Greninja Break gives Greninja 170 hit points as opposed to 130, which is like a lot better. And then Giant Water Shuriken is kind of like the main gimmick of the deck. Once during your turn, you can discard a water energy from your hand and put 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now remember, Greninja's got free retreat. So, and the Giant Water Shuriken ability only works when you're in the active spot. So you would have Greninja in the active, and then you would use Giant Water Shuriken to play 6 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you would free retreat your Greninja Break to the bench, retreat into another Greninja Break, and use another Giant Water Shuriken to play 6 more damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then you would use Shadow Stitching to ability lock them. And N was in this format as well. So at the end of the game, like your opponent would like race ahead in prizes and take like 3 or 4 prizes real fast, and then you'd start using end them to like 2 or 3, and you're ending yourself to 6 because you haven't been doing anything yet. So you end yourself to 6 and them to like 2 or 3. You go Water Shuriken, Shadow Stitch. So you basically you ability lock them for the entire game. And then you only ever break the ability lock to use Moonlight Slash on like key turns where you need to take a knockout or something like that. But for the most part, you just kept the Shadow Stitch lock completely And this deck ended up finishing second place at the World Championships, and it actually got top 8 at NAIC as well. The year I top 8 at NAIC as well in 2017. Which was crazy because that was a horrible matchup for me. So I was really hoping that I didn't end up playing against that in top 8. But yeah, check this out. Greninja Break, Alex Kreckler right here, and Grafton Roll, 8th and 9th place at NAIC 2017. That's almost a year after it got second place at the World Championships. And this version of the deck even had Talonflame Break. How cool is this, man? How freaking cool is this? 4 Talonflame Break. Man, it's so freaking sick, dude. Talonflame Break just to make it so that your Talonflame is fire type and then can use Arrow Blitz for 80 damage on fire weak Pokemon. Just crazy. Yeah. This was awesome. I mean, I think that 2017 NAIC format's one of my favorite formats of all time. There's a lot of players who really enjoy that format and consider it to be one of the best in the modern history of the game. And it really is. It is incredible to play. And one of the reasons it's so fun to play is because you have all these different kinds of strategies. You've got big basic strategies like Volcanion EX. You've got stage 1 rush strategies like the Zoroark deck I played. You've got basically a stage 3 deck with the Greninja Break deck. You've got stage 1, stage 2 decks like the Ninetales Decidueye deck. You've got big basic stage 1 decks like Drampazork and Drampagarbodor. I mean, it's just there's so many different kinds of strategies that do well in that format. It makes it really, really fun to play. All right, on to round number 2 here at Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. We've got Sean Rowers and Anthony Saya, both 1-0. Dragon versus Psychic. I'm stoked to see how this one goes. Dragon's boom in popularity in Gym Leader Challenge format over the course of the last year has been really kind of wild to experience. Dragon was one of those kind of fringe types that that only the real true Dragon tryhards or Dragon diehards used to play. And Dragon has kind of done a complete 180 as far as like its meta relevance goes, where it used to be kind of like a more fringe choice amongst players where, you know, only the real Dragon lovers would play Dragon. Now it's like one of the strongest archetypes in Gym Leader Challenge format. And it's crazy because the Dragon Pokemon were not being printed for a little while. During the Sword and Shield block, they stopped printing dragons, and then you know, inevitably dragons kind of fell a little behind in the card pool race because like half a block, for like half a block there was no dragons, right? So like pretty impossible to keep up with the Joneses when you're not getting any cards printed. But then Dragon just started seeing more and more and more tools get printed that really help the archetype in Gym Leader Challenge formats throughout the back half of the Sword and Shield block and this front half of the Scarlet and Violet block. To say that Dragon made up for lost time is an understatement. I mean, yeah, Dragon has made up for lost time and some. And it's always really cool to see old Dragon cards and new Dragon cards jive together in Gym Leader Challenge formats. One of the magical things about the format is that you get to play cards dating all the way back to Black and White. Black and White is what many players consider to be the birth of the modern era of the Pokemon TCG. It's when a lot of things like abilities and supporters and item cards and the language surrounding all of those was really kind of unified, starting with Black and White. For instance, in the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era, there are no like supporter cards are not considered trainer cards. Trainer cards are basically what are now item cards. Like the wording on everything was all wonky during the Heart Gold, Soul Silver era, and then everything got unified going into Black and White. Abilities were called abilities. There's no more Pokebodies. No more Pokebodies. No more Pokemon powers. Everything is now an ability. And getting to see some of those cards from back in the day. I mean, this Reshiram is over 10 years old. And, getting to see it interact with modern cards is just a whole lot of fun. Reshiram's got the Turbo Blaze ability, which says once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon's in your active spot, you can attach a Fire Energy card from your hand to one of your Dragon Pokemon. Its Bright Wing attack is very expensive and underwhelming as far as the damage goes. So you're not really using Reshiram for that Bright Wing attack. You're using it to juice up your other powerful Dragon Pokemon with extra Fire Energy from hands, like this Regidrago in the active spot. As we see, Sean did pivot into the Regidrago because Regidrago has the Dragon's Horde ability, which says once during your turn, if this Pokemon's in the active spot, you can draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. Its Giant Fangs attack does 160 damage for a Grass, a Fire, and a Colorless Energy. As we can see, 2 of the 3 energy requirements for Regidrago's Giant Fangs can be fulfilled by Fire Energy. So it does pair very well with the Reshiram. Now it looks like Tony is playing Psychic, has Cleffa in the active spot. Cleffa is one of the strongest consistency options in the Psychic card pool with the Grasping Draw attack. It's a free attack, allows you to fill your hand to 7 cards, and that's it. I mean, just basically Tropical Beach on a free attack. What's not to love about that? And Cleffa's got free retreat as well, so just one of the premier openers in the Psychic deck. And Tony's got Quick Ball, Level Ball, can go get couple different basic Pokemon, start setting up, as we see Tony going for Ralts and Inkay. Ralts evolves into Kirlia, and then unlike standard format where it's all about Gardevoir, in Gym Leader Challenge format, the premier evolution of Kirlia is not Gardevoir, believe it or not. It's actually Gallade. So that's another fun quirk about GLC. Gallade is better than Gardevoir. I don't know that there's been any point in the game's history in standard format where you could say that Gallade was superior to Gardevoir. Now, there are times that Gardevoir and Gallade got paired together, like the Gallade deck, but Gardevoir was always the backbone. Gallade was never the star. But in this Psychic deck, Gallade very much is the star of the show. It's got 160 hit points and the Buddy Catch ability, which allows you to search your deck for a supporter card once during your turn and put it into your hand. And you can imagine in a singleton format like Gym Leader Challenge, where you can only play one of each card in your deck except for basic energy, being able to hand pick the exact supporter you want out of your deck every single turn is a huge boost in consistency. So this ability is very strong, worth building a deck around, really. And then Gallade also has a very serviceable attack, Swirling Slice, 160 damage for a Psychic and 2 colorless energy, and it preserves energy, moving an energy back to one of your bench Pokemon. Tony going to retreat into Wobbuffet. Such a cracked opening hand, does not even need to use Cleffa's Grasping Draw And this is looking devastating for Sean because Sean really wants to be able to use Regidrago's Dragon Horde or Reshiram's Turbo Blaze, but will not be able to use either of them because of Wobbuffet's Bide Barricade ability, which says as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, each non-psychic Pokemon in play has no abilities. So we see Sean just has to pass it back over to Tony. And again, this is one of my beefs with the Turbo Dragon box deck is that it doesn't really play a lot of draw supporters. And we can see the weaknesses in that kind of strategy right here with Sean's hand and board state. There's just not a lot of powerful draw cards that are in this deck, right? That is by construction. The deck is built to kind of use turbo items and rely on Regidrago's Dragon Horde ability. You also rely on Tatsugiri a little bit with the attract customers ability to fish things out. But as we see, Sean just like didn't open the nuts opening hand and now is kind of stuck up a river without a paddle with Regidrago in the active spot. And I don't even know that there's any draw card in the Dragon Box deck that Sean can like top deck. Right? So, and then as insult to injury, Sean also top decked Battle VIP Pass for turn. And again, that is, it's kind of greedy deck construction, right? Anytime you're playing a card like Battle VIP Pass in a Gym Leader Challenge deck, keep in mind it's a singleton format, right? So, so you only have one Battle VIP Pass in your deck, and it can only be used on the first turn of the game. So that is a dead card that Sean drew into last turn, but has a much stronger draw this turn with Guzma and Hala. Just a perfect bailout to help Sean get moving a little bit. Guzma and Hala allows you to discard 2 other cards from your hand. As we can see, Sean wasting no time getting rid of that Battle VIP Pass. And you get to search your deck for a tool card, a stadium card, and a special energy. So that will allow Sean to start to get some things going, even with this Wobbuffet here in the active. And the way that this deck is built, you're supposed to want to use Dragon Horde, right, to refill your hand after playing a card like Guzman Hala. Guzman Hala, you thin your hand down, and then you want to be able to use Dragon's Horde. Now, if Sean has got the if Sean has got the Raging Bolt in his deck, then he could actually go get Raging Bolt to attach double Dragon Energy to the Raging Bolts, and then use Thunderburst Storm to take a knockout. We could also see Sean go for a TM Turbo Energize play, as that appears to be the tool card that he selected. So TM Turbo Energize could help to get some extra energy into play too. Yo, thank you so much, Trust Your Pilot, for the raid of 45. Welcome everybody from Trust Your Pilot's channel. We got Gym Leader Challenge League Night happening here tonight at Full Grip Games. Round number 2 of 4 happening right now. Sean versus Anthony. Dragon versus Psychic. 13 players here this evening for our Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. Thank you so much for joining us. It looks like Sean is going to use the Stormy Mountains to go get that Raging Bolts. And then double Dragon Energy onto the Regidrago. I'm feeling like... Yeah, but the TM Turbo Energize can't go on to the Regidrago because it's already got a Floatstone on it. So I would have really liked to see the Double Dragon energy go on to like the Raging Bolts, so that Sean could have maybe taken a knockout with a Raging Bolt. Now, yeah, this is not great, folks. Regidrago cannot attack yet, and now Sean can't even use the TM Turbo Energize that he got out of his deck. So that is really quite unfortunate. I think I would have liked to see Sean go either Double Dragon Energy to Raging Bolt, Thunderburst Storm for a knockout, or Double Dragon Energy to Raging Bolt and TM Turbo Energize 2 energy to the benched Regidrago. Either of those two plays, I think I would have preferred to see, as opposed to single energy to Regidrago and pass. And the reason why I think that we need to see some sort of... I think I would have really liked to see the TM Turbo Energize play happen. And the reason why I want to see that happen is because if Sean just continues to pigeonhole all of his energy into this single Regidrago, then he doesn't really have a good backup plan. If the Regidrago goes down, you know, or you could go on the aggressive with Raging Bolts and say, like, okay, at least I'm going to stunt your setup, maybe take out Inkay. With the potential to do 90 damage snipe the following turn. So yeah, it's I think Anthony actually kind of lucked out there. Sean did not choose to target down maybe Inkay. I mean, Anthony doesn't have any energy in play and has already discarded counter energy. So Anthony could have very well had a difficult time responding to a Raging Bolt. And Sean could have kind of cut loose and just started picking things off with Bolt. This last turn would have been up a prize as well. So yeah, either one of those plays, TM Turbo Energize or the Raging Bolt play, either of those would have been preferred, I think. But now, Anthony has got Malamar online. Malamar can start using its Psychic Recharge ability to put extra energy into play. And Anthony's got 2 energy on the Curlia. Like, imagine if Sean had used Raging Bolt to knock out Inkay last turn, then he'd be able to attach 1 additional energy to Raging Bolt, and Raging Bolt would be coming in for 90 to knock out Curlia. It's not an over-exaggeration to say that this Raging Bolt is one of the strongest cards in the Dragon card pool, which is crazy, because, you know, honestly, the card doesn't like read that nuts when you're just looking at it, but it just is. The ability for a basic Pokemon to start sniping as early as turn 1 is just incredibly good in Gym Leader Challenge, with access to Double Dragon energy. It makes it so that you can go turn 1, Thunderburst Storm for 60, turn 2, attach another energy, you're going for 90. And 60 damage takes out a lot of basics, like we saw Inkay and Duskull, both on Anthony's bench, could have gotten picked off with Thunderburst Storm for 2. And then Thunderburst Storm for 3, 90 damage, you're knocking out almost every bench sitter. It looks like Sean does have the energy for Regidrago. Still no abilities because of the Wobbuffet in the active spot. Sean does have Lost City. And imagine, oh my gosh, like imagine if it was Raging Bolt going for 90 damage, Lost Zoning the Curlia, you know? I got to stop thinking about what coulda, shoulda, woulda been, because it's hurting my soul. You know, Lost City would have gone crazy. Hex Maniac, though, He's going to turn off all abilities until the end of Anthony's next turn. And then Giant Fangs will take this knockout. 160 damage. Sean, the first one on the board with a KO. Does Tony have the cards that he needs in order to respond with Gallade? He's kind of got all of his eggs in the Kirlia basket. 2 Psychic Energy on the Kirlia. Is he going to be able to find Gallade? He's got Sycamore in hand, so discard the hand, draw 7 cards, and just has to rip it. Has to find an evolution out off of the discard, draw 7, or just draw into the Gallade naturally. But again, it is a singleton format, so 1 copy of Gallade in the deck. Can he find it? All right, here goes Sycamore. Discard, draw 7, looking for Gallade, looking for an energy, and there they are. I think of the first few cards, Gallade Psychic. He has got the return knockouts, no abilities needed. Perfect draw off of Professor Sycamore, and Tony is right back in this game. He's going to be able to clear Sean of all energy. And this is a really precarious place for Sean to be in, because Sean is going to a 0 energy board, Double Dragon energy down. But if Sean can whip up a response, Sean has Lost City in hand, so could play Lost City and remove the Gallade from play entirely. And that would be tough to deal with. Perfect draw for Anthony. I can't say enough how like that draw of the Gallade is not guaranteed there. So that was a very, very good rip. And then the free retreat with Cleffa will allow Anthony to bring that Gallade into the active spot, tie this game up at 5-5 prizes. If Sean can find Raihan or Mela, but I don't know that there are any fire energy in the discard pile. And Raihan doesn't really do it because it's accelerating a darkness energy into play, and Drudagon doesn't take either of those. All right, so Reshiram getting the promote. And draw. It's Wishful Baton off the top. Arvin is a supporter in hand. Yeah, it's feeling sketchy for sure. For Sean, I'm not really seeing the pieces required in order to respond to the 160 hit point Gallade. Drudagon does get there if the Drudagon is powered up. Revenge does 40 damage plus 120 more damage if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during the opponent's last turn. So a perfect 160 damage would answer the Gallade. But the Drudagon needs a fire and a water energy attached. So I'm not sure that Sean is going to be able to piece together the fire-water combo. Unless, if you've got Arvin for Floatstone Professor's Letter, right, you could use Professor's Letter, but if Floatstone's already been played, so it'd have to be Air Balloon, Arvin for Professor's Letter and Air Balloon, that would actually do it. Yeah, that certainly would, because then Reshiram could use the Turbo Blaze ability to attach the fire energy. If Letter or Vessel are in deck, then that play is live, or Air Balloon, but looks like Sean either not seeing the Letter play or not having it available in the deck. One of the two. Now, they heard the walkie. It's not me, though. It's like just interference. You guys are good. That's not me. It's just interference. It's just interference. And then off the Marnie, I just got like switch card light. Like actually is one card off the combo off of Marnie, right? Because you've got Turbo Blaze, the fire. You've got switch cart, right? You've kind of got you've got almost everything to make it happen. But still just one piece short. Doesn't find the water energy off the Marnie. But now I'm dying to know if Sean had the letter air balloon in deck. Because if letter air balloon are both in deck, then that was just a missed opportunity with the Reshiram Turbo Blaze and the Arven play in hand. And this is really just setting Anthony up for a clean sweep. Because with Gallade going unpunished in the active spot, now Tony can kind of just set himself up for success for the rest of the game. Continuing to use Buddy Catch to hand select exactly which supporters he wants every turn. He goes for Arven so that he could get Rare Candy Dusknoir, and this is going to be a very painful turn for Sean, because Dusknoir with Gallade means that Anthony is going to get to remove 2 targets from Sean's board this turn. I mean, and just how disgusting is that, right? Rare Candy Dusknoir. Curse Blast can take out the Reshiram. Or take out the Drudagon, the Drudagon, excuse me. Curse Blast going to take out the Drudagon for sure. You got to take out the Drudagon. I mean, come on. Yeah. Got to be the Drudagon. And then that does award a prize to both players, but very clearly advantageous for Anthony, as Anthony is able to hand select the exact card he wants out of his prize cards and is sacking a Pokemon he doesn't care about to take out a Pokemon that Sean does care about, right? And then Swirling Slice taking the active. That is just an absolutely gnarly turn from Anthony. The Dusknoir, Gallade, double KO. And Swirling Slice passing another energy back. Just going to be a really, really tough board state for Sean to recover from. Pokegear allows Sean to look at the top 7 cards of his deck, take a supporter he finds there, put it into his hand. Colress's Tenacity. Is it Colress? Am I tripping? Not Colress. Yeah, Colress's Tenacity. That's what it's called. Yes. Colress's Tenacity can search you for a Stadium and a Special Energy, or a regular energy too, just any kind of energy. And uses Stormy Mountains to go get Tatsugiri. Let's see where Sean goes from here. Reshiram in the active spots, but no fire energy in hand to accelerates with the Turbo Blaze ability. And yeah, Anthony does have Mewtwo as a backup attacker on the bench. If Sean does manage to take another prize card, Mewtwo is going to get powered up even further, because Mewtwo has an attack that does 90 damage plus 90 more damage if the opponent is at 3 or fewer prize cards, right? So 180 damage if Sean takes another prize. Volkner is going to allow Sean to search his deck for a basic lightning energy and an item card. not the strongest effect at this point in the game, as Sean needs a lot more going on than a lightning and an item. I mean, really, Sean is kind of just very behind on energy, behind on prizes. All right, I do see. All right, there's the air balloon was in the deck. Now, was Professor's Letter in the deck? Air balloon was in the deck. Was letter in there? Maybe not. Looks like it's going to be lightning and max elixir. And then if Sean is able to find a fighting energy off of max elixir, maybe we see a raging bolt. Attack for 60? I mean, like, maybe Thunderburst Storm? Let's go max elixir. Find any basic energy. That's swing and a miss. So nothing there. And that is feeling real bad for Sean. As Sean just has to shuffle up. Has a single lightning energy to attach. And this is going to be Anthony's game to take command of completely. With Sean having no semblance of a resistance formulating on his side of the board. And a single lightning to Raging Bolt and pass. But Anthony is going to... No, that's from hand. Yeah, no. It looks like Sean was thinking maybe it comes from the discard. No, it does not. It comes from the hand. Sorry, Sean. And pass. And now Anthony should be able to go search out like Boss's Orders, Guzma, chase down the energy if he wants to. And just end this game. Anthony's got Mysterious Treasure. But honestly, at this point, if Anthony just announces attacks, I don't think he can lose. There's nothing on Sean's side of the board that can oppose the Gallade with 160 hit points. So, not really too concerned about even using Guzma. It's not even worth it to use Guzma or Boss. You can kind of just knock out the active. It looks like that's what Anthony's going to go for. Search his deck for Hex Maniac. With Gallade's Buddy Catch ability, can attach an extra energy to the active Gallade. Doesn't have to waste the Dimension Valley yet either. Can kind of just pinch that for later. Or could retreat. See, I actually don't like this play from Anthony. Playing the Dimension Valley. Okay, I was gonna say playing the Dimension Valley and leaving the Gallade in the active. I wouldn't have liked that. But if he retreats the Gallade, uses Psychic Recharge to get another energy, then I like this play. I was gonna say if you're just leaving the Gallade in the active with one energy, you do run the risk of it getting kind of stuck. So this play I'm fine with though. And Tony is able to match hand sizes with the Boulder. An Adjusted Horn for knockout, taking him down to just 2 prize cards remaining. Let's see, Sean's got Colress's Tenacity. Can search a stadium and an energy. So Sean can take an additional knockout with Raging Bolts. I guess go down to 3 prizes. You could attach a fighting energy and take out Cleffa for 60. We've got Prism Energy in Lost City. And then let's see what Sean has got here. Just going to be probably a knockout with Cleffa and just go down swinging angle. There's not too much else Sean can do. Can bump the stadium, send the Cleffa pack into the lost zone. And there you go. Sean going to take a prize. Cleffa is a goner. Oh, Anthony has to match hand sizes. And this was one of the things where it was almost like personally, I think it was correct for Anthony to attach the energy to the active Gallade last turn, play Hex Maniac, and use Swirling Slice to move the energy back to Iron Boulder last turn. Because there's absolutely zero chance that your Gallade gets knocked out. I really, zero shot. And then this turn, you get to play Dimension Valley, and you could attack with Gallade again if you wanted to, and move another energy back if you wanted to. So I think that would have been fine. Because here you have to worry about matching hand sizes again with Boulder in the active. It just feels like you're kind of looking for the path of least resistance to the win, and I'm wondering if just keeping Gallade in the active was actually just the better way to do it. And it looks like Anthony is able to match hand sizes again. He's got the energy to attach to the active Boulder, Psychic Recharge, another energy, and with 4-4 hands, Anthony's going to take another knockout with the Boulder, go down to just 1 prize remaining. Lost zoning the Raging Bolts in the process, but I don't really think that it matters that Sean didn't put the bolt into the lost zone where it belongs. Unless he tries to recover that bolt from the discard pile, I'm just going to let it go because Anthony is clearly on a path to win this game with that Boulder there and everything else that he's got going on. Crispin, yeah, I don't even know that there's any. You got what? You got a fire to lightning, I guess. Are you going to smack with Tatsugiri? Is that what we got going on? Surf, 50. And Anthony is all but got win guaranteed. It's about as guaranteed as it gets right now. LaShawn just going through the motions here on stream. And Anthony looking like a strong contender tonight with this psychic build. And we caught the Raging Bolt. All right, does go to the Lost Zone. Very good. And unfortunately cannot even surf because Sean does not have the correct energy to use surf. So now is just going to play cards from his hands. I don't. To me, it is more honorable in this position to scoop up your cards. It is more honorable. There is no win condition that you can muster from here. Absolutely none. It is not possible. It is not possible. All right, Anthony. All you got to do is knock out the 70 hit point Tatsugiri. Come on. Your hand is huge. Your board state is immaculate. No way. And this is why I said you should have never put that stupid boulder in the active spot. Because now look at you, right? All right, you just got to pare your hand down to 2 cards. Surely you can do it, right? Finish him. Buddy catch. All right, what do we got in the deck? You got to play Bird Keeper to get into a better Pokemon, right? Because the Boulder's got 3 retreat and he's stuck. Exactly. It's exactly what I was saying, bruh. Because even Mewtwo could take this knockout. Like, Mewtwo could do it. 90 damage. Right, it's 180, actually. Sean's got 3 prizes left. So Mewtwo could do it. You just gotta actually get there, though. Keep in mind, we're no longer playing +3 turns. We are playing +1 from now on, folks. So if this goes to time, Anthony could just freaking tie this game if he doesn't hustle up a little bit. That's what I'm saying. If Anthony misses knockout here and then his turn 0, dude. All right, he's got there. Mewtwo. A buzzer beater knockout. Anthony's got the game. Night Stretcher off the Bird Keeper. And Mewtwo, Limit Break. 180 damage. And there you go. He's got it. GG's, GG's, GG's. Yeah, it's been incredibly confusing, honestly, with the new rules rollout from the Pokemon Company. They haven't really made an official announcement as to when those. They haven't made an official announcement as to when those rulings are supposed to go into effect. I know some people have submitted support tickets, and there have been some support ticket answers leaked, but that is not that's not an official announcement from a Pokemon, from the company, right? So either way, +3 turns is going to be gone forever. In 2 months, regardless. So it's almost what's the point? What's the point of doing +3 turns anymore if it's just going to be obsolete in 2 months anyway, right? So I like here at Full Grip, we're just kind of adopting the new normal now, so the players are used to it by the time it comes around, right? No more +3 turns. +3 turns is going to be obsolete. Doesn't matter. I mean, Pokemon hasn't been clear about when the rollout's supposed to start, but like they've been clear that the rollout will happen eventually. So it's just like, I don't know. Our tournament organizers honestly have like no official guidance and don't really know what to go off of. So that's kind of just what we're doing right now. Right. Apparently the announcement is via Discord screenshots. That is not how you make an announcement as a company, right? Like you can't just say like, "Oh yeah, I saw it in a Discord somewhere." Like that, it's still not how you make the announcement, right? So that's not how you do it. So but I would even say I'm better at making ban announcements on gymleaderchallenge.com than that. Like, come on. It's not official unless it's posted on gymleaderchallenge.com. You would think that a company like the Pokemon Company would do a similar thing where it's like it's not official unless it's posted on Pokemon.com, right? Like you would think that. Now there's discussion that happens in the Tricky Gym Discord, of course, but I would never expect someone to have to join my Discord or rely on Discord screenshots in order to get it's been a pretty rocky rollout as far as the new rules go, I have to say. I don't think the Pokemon Company International has done a really great job with like a lot of things as far as organized play goes, but this one's a little bit of a miss. They should have been more clear with their new rules announcement. For sure, right? I mean, you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying to follow official guidance and trying to run tournaments with like lots of questions, right? So yeah, I don't know. I know the tournament organizers at Full Grip have certainly been, feeling like they've been left in the dark about what to do. Now, something that's really interesting that I'm very excited about is that as a kind of like independent tournament operating venue, like Full Grip Games, we've been talking about experimenting with the tournament formula for our big release weekend events. Personally, I think 50 minutes best of 3 plus 1 turn is crap. I do not want to commentate over a tournament where the format is 50 minutes best of 3 plus 1 turn. So I am making the suggestion to our tournament organizers that for the Full Grip Games release weekend double headers, that standard format, we play 60 minutes best of 3 plus 1 turn. That is the suggestion that I'm making, and I think that we're thinking that we're just going to do it, right? Because it's a release weekend event. It doesn't have to be. We don't have to abide by we don't have to do whatever the Pokemon. If the Pokemon Company is doing something that people don't like, why don't we just do something that people will like, right? So that's what we're just going to take the timing and tournament organization into our own hands, because if the Pokemon Company is dead set on going 50-minute best of 3 plus 1 turns for like the next 12 months, we don't want to do that. So we're going to do our own thing. The size of our and the plus 1 turn will still have the 10-minute timer. Yeah. Now the size of our tournaments, give us the freedom to be more flexible with our tournament organization. Our tournaments are only about 150 players for standard, the release weekend events. So obviously it's still a pretty big operation, but not nearly not nearly the size of like the regional championships and things like that. So it's it's something interesting, going forth into the 2026 season. Just know that here at Full Grip, we really pride ourselves in our events and serving players the best that we can. So we are going to always be looking out for the players' best interest to give them the most enjoyable tournament experience possible. And I don't think that can really happen with 50-minute best of 3 plus 1 turn. So yeah, we're going to start looking at that critically and making our own decisions, because why the heck not? All right, round number 3 is upon us here at Full Grip Games. Classic matchup right here, folks. Classic matchup. We've got Alex Carpenter on the right, your current Gym Leader Challenge badge leader with 8 badges. That's right. He is your 2024 Gym Leader Challenge Championship Series champion and is on track, nearly locked up to be the 2025 Gym Leader Challenge Championship Series champion. So, and both these players are 1-1, so probably not going to be able to win it all tonight, but both players have an option to win some store credit, finish in the top 4 with a record of 3-1. Natalie says that she wanted to stream this match because if she puts Tony on again as the undefeated, then Tony might just be on stream 3 matches in a row. So better to mix it up. And these two are friends. They got into Gym Leader Challenge together. So it's always really cool to get to see them compete against one another. Alex Carpenter playing Fire tonight as one of the only 2 badges that he has not won yet this season at Full Grip Games. And here we go. This match is underway. Hunter with his colorless deck and Alex with his fire deck. Yeah, it's perfect lead there for Hunter. Fan wrote him fan call. And fan call going to help Hunter to set up his board perfectly. Can go search the deck for 3 colorless Pokemon with 70 hit point or with 100 hit points or less, and put them into his hand. And he's searching out Porygon and a couple others. We see he's got the Slackoth already on the bench. Hunter's got a really neat colorless build. Plays Porygon Z and Slacking. Slacking. Really cool Pokemon from Celestial Storm. It's got the lazy ability, which makes it so that as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's Pokemon have no abilities. Kind of like Wobbuffet. Let's see what Alex has got going on. Looks like he is playing the Rapidash. The new Rapidash allows you to draw a card, and then also is playing the Dirge. And the Dirge is one of my favorite Pokemon in the Fire card pool. It's basically, it's basically Palkia V-Star, dude. 180 hit points, and the Torterto attack does 60 damage plus 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon in play. So if both you and your opponent have a full bench, oh my god, you're doing 260 damage. It's just a ton of damage. For just 2 energy, 180 hit points, good bulk too. And Pokegear, after Alex uses the Professor's Letter, thin the 2 fire energy out of the deck. Going to want a nice supporter here to help set up. Does find Arven, so that is always a solid turn 1 supporter, as you can go search out cards like Buddy Buddy Poffin and maybe a TM Evolution. If Alex is playing a card like TM Evo, then you can go Arven. Oh, he's got Battle VIP Pass. See? Greedy. Greed pays, folks. Arven can get Battle VIP Pass and Floatstone, and it looks like Floatstone will pivot that Ponyta out of the active spots. And then Battle VIP Pass going to search out Volcanion, and Volcanion has got the Flare starter attack, which accelerates a fire energy from the deck to one of your bench Pokemon. But if it's the first turn of the game, going second, then you get to accelerate 3 fire energy from your deck. But as you see, Alex has all of his fire energy in his hand. so actually cannot use Flare Starter for full effect because he's got a handful of fire energy. And that is somewhat his own doing because he played Professor's Letter to thin his deck. He played Professor's Letter to thin his deck and try to get, a better draw off of Pokegear. Well, you did that. Well, you played the Professor's Letter, man. I mean, what do you want? Yeah, I'm gonna tell him on the. Yeah. I'm gonna tell. I didn't have the. Yeah, you played the Professor's Letter, Alex. This is somewhat your fault.
I had to make sure I hit a supporter off the gear.
Uh-huh. 5 fire energy in him, but you searched out 2 of them. Hunter's got double turbo energy attached to Vigoroth. Working on getting that Slacking evolved up. Dang, Hunter looked like he'd been tanning. Hey, that boy been enjoying the sun for sure. And then Fanroto, I'm just going to punch in the active spots for 70. And let's see what Alex has got in response. Does have Crocalore. Okay. A Croc on the bench. And then there are no fire energy in the deck, keep in mind. So can't even use... Holy smokes, what does Crocalore do? There's a blacksmith here. Ain't no way. What does Crocalore do, bro? Does it do 70? Yeah. It does 90. Okay. Crocalore with the KO, dude. And Alex Carpenter takes the temporary prize lead off Pokegear. Hunter finds Winona, and that is just the right supporter for a moment like this. Able to go get Porygon Z, Slacking, and Bieber out of the deck. And Hunter is setting up perfectly. With Vigoroth in the active, he can just instantly evolve up into Slacking. With the Porygon Z grab off of the Winona, I'm thinking he's got Rare Candy in hand too. There it is. Rare Candy into Porygon. Bibarel online. Industrious Incisors can fill the hand to 5. Zooming Draw can draw one more, but is Hunter going to miss the energy he needs? No, there it is. The energy drop from hand and Critical Move will take this knockout. 140 damage with the double turbo energy attached, and Hunter will tie the game up. Another dead draw there off the top for... Well, no, actually, because Alex found Welder off the prizes, so can accelerate 2 fire energy into play. And draw 3 cards, so not the worst. Can go energy to Entei too, all right, and Volcanion will punch for 50, which is not bad because Slacking's got 160 hit points, so Volcanion punches with High Heat Blast for 50, and then Rally Back Entei on the bench can do 120 damage if one of Alex's Pokemon gets knocked out. Escape Rope is going to make it so that Hunter can attack again, because I'm pretty sure Slacking can't attack back-to-back turns. That's like his thing, right? No, yes, yeah, literally. You have to discard an energy, and it can't attack during the next turn. So Escape Rope going to reset that attack effect. Once the Slacking hits the bench, that can't attack next turn effect is removed. And Iono gonna potentially give Alex Carpenter a new shot in this game. I mean, a fresh hand of 5? Thank you very much. And we'll see if he's able to draw the cards he needs in order to keep pace in this game now, because, I mean, Hunter is going to go up a prize, but that's not too much of a deficit to overcome. If Alex can stabilize, all he needs is 1 more energy attached, and he can take a knockout with Volcanion, actually, because Volcanion did 50 last turn. Hunter, by playing Escape Rope, is kind of allowing Alex to choose which one of his Pokemon gets knocked out, right? Which is, like, ideal, and is choosing to sacrifice this Slug. And then we're just going to have a good old-fashioned prize trade race. Back and forth. Hunter going to play Ultra Ball, ditching Super Rod and Arvin. It's not me. It's not me. I don't know. Yeah. We get walkie-talkie interference sometimes. Well, maybe I got to pick a different channel. Ultra Ball. And Hunter finds Cramorant, gets an energy attached to it. And Slacking, gonna take another knockout, bringing Hunter down to just 4 prizes left. But with that Iono, Alex has got a fresh hand and can start to compete in this game. Hunter is able to accelerate as many special energy as he wants from his hand into play, thanks to that Porygon Z on his bench with the Crazy Code ability. Basically, Rain Dance for special energy. Very cool ability that this this colorless deck is relying on. And then with Bibarel's Industrious Incisors, you can fill your hand to 5, draw into energy, accelerate them into play. And then Slacking, of course, just a really tough Pokemon to deal with. 160 hit points and the lazy ability, which makes it so that none of Alex's abilities work so long as Slacking is in the active spot. We see Alex is able to get the Rapidash out of his deck. That's a cool new card that I really like in the fire deck with the Hurried Gate ability. Just allows you to draw a card. Combos perfectly with Magcargo. Magcargo has the Smooth Over ability, which allows you to stack your deck once during your turn. So with Magcargo and Rapidash both in play, you can basically draw whatever you want every single turn. It's broken. Broken combo there. You love to see it. Did you guys hear that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was very strange. Everything seems fine though, so yeah. Hopefully I think everything's fine. It's just like had to quiet down for a second to make sure I didn't hear any commotion, but yeah. Sure. Yeah, no, I think everything's cool. The ghost of Fulcrap is true. All right, looks like Alex doesn't have access to his abilities, so can't use Rapidash right now. But we'll take that knockout with Volcanion and tie this game right up. 4-4 prizes. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mountain Dew, for the sub and the 50 months. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the continued support, Mountain Dew. Hope you're doing well. Hunter's got Hops Cramorant in the active spot now, and will be able to take a KO with Fickle Spitting. He's also going to use Guzma to bring up Alex's Chi-Yu, which honestly, like, that's fine. Knocking out the Chi-Yu, like, all Alex has to do is get one more energy into play, and Volcanion can knock out Hops Cramorant too. I mean, Volcanion does 110 damage for 4, so it doesn't really matter. But Hunter chasing down Alex's Chi-Yu, maybe identifying that is the Chi-Yu is the strongest attacker and is just going to take that out. I think that's fair. Just going to thin the deck down a little more. Quick ball, discard tag call. Is that a quick ball for a Guzman? Excuse me, Hunter. That is not how that works. It's always cool seeing 2 different Snorlax in play in Gym Leader Challenge format. Even though Gym Leader Challenge format is a singleton format, you can only play one of each card in your deck with the same name except basic energy. And Snorlax and Hop Snorlax are 2 different Pokemon with 2 different names, like Genesect and Shining Genesect, like Ampharos and Rocket's Ampharos. So always love seeing that. A Hunter goes to 3 prizes remaining. Hops Cramorant, taking the knockout with Fickle Spitting. And what does Alex do to respond? Scott Rapidash can use Hurried Gates, but first it's going to Artisan. And just take a look at his deck, search for a basic, put it straight onto the bench. And it looks like Alex is also playing Salazzle. So Alex is playing all the consistency options in his deck. Salazzle, Magcargo, and Rapidash just saying, please, I just want to draw some cards, please. Hurried Gate draws 1. We've got Ninetales on the bench now. Alex does need to find 1 more energy in order for either Entei or Volcanion to take the knockout. I have to imagine you go in with Volcanion here. As Volcanion's just dealing 110 damage, which is perfect math to knock out this Cramorant. Yeah, Raihan just seems like a... Yeah, Raihan to the Ninetales, and then take the knockout with Volcanion. Just spread your energy, right? I like that. I really don't like it going to Entei. Yeah, I like it going to Cast Form or to Ninetales. Cast Form makes sense because then you get it within within range of being able to fire off 150 damage. Cast Form is one of the only Pokemon that can actually deal with the Snorlax that Hunter's powering up, so I see why Alex decided to go with that. Cast Form does 150 for 3. And then I do also like Alex deciding to get Magma Basin. Could allow you to charge an additional energy into play, but it is looking like his resources are starting to run a little bit thin. So Alex needs to think carefully about how he's going to navigate these next couple turns. Magma Basin gets him an extra energy, which is great. He needs to catch up in the energy race, so that's good. Probably going to see this energy go on to either Cast Form. Yeah, probably Cast Form or Entei. Probably Cast Form, be my guess. Nope, Ninetales, we're just going energy on everybody. That's cool. We got a bunch of attackers that are close to attacking now. 4 fire energy in play. I do agree with this. You definitely want to attack with Volcanion. And so long as Alex has an option to, like, attach a fire next turn to either Ninetales or Entei, like, I feel pretty good about that. The Cramorant does have gift energy attached to it, so when Alex takes the knockout, Hunter gets to fill his hand to 5 cards. And High Heat Blast gonna tie it up. 3-3 prizes. Hunter's got Bibarel with Floatstone to promote. A great pivot. And a huge hand to work with as well. With Porygon Z in play, Hunter can use the Crazy Code ability and attach as many special energy from his hand to his Pokemon as he wants during his turn. So long as he can find the energy to attack, he's good to go. Rescue Stretcher will bring Hop's Cramorant back, and he does have a couple energy in hand, so can just rain those into play thanks to Crazy Code. Zooming Draw gets another card, and Hunter's deck is just set up really, really well. Recycle energy onto the Snorlax. I know Hunter was telling me the other day that he is cursed when he plays on this table, so it's nice to see Hunter's deck really fire off and do everything it needs to do. He's got Hex Maniac to stop Alex's abilities. And then Palpad can toss 2 supporters back into the deck. Cramorant Gonna finish off this Volcanion with Fickle Spitting for Hunter 20. Hunter going down to just 2 prizes left. There we go. Fickle Spitting. Hunter back in the lead. But Alex gets to keep his Magma Basin, and that is huge for Alex because it guarantees that Alex will have the energy to respond again this next turn. But the problem is that Alex isn't winning the trade. He's behind 1 card in the trade right now and doesn't really have a way to skip ahead in the trade. The way Alex has this fire deck built, it is built to just kind of stream attackers. And that's a fine way to build the fire deck for sure, but you have to have a way to try and skip back ahead. And lots of decks employ different strategies to try and skip ahead in the prize trade, right? Like Hunter's deck plays the Slacking, which can turn off abilities to try and skip ahead. It also plays Hex Maniac with Snorlax, and taking a knockout with Snorlax or with Cramorant while playing Hex Maniac is just a classic way to try and skip ahead in the prize race. You've got decks like the Grass deck that we saw on stream earlier with Torterra. When you got a Pokemon that big with 190 or 200 plus HP, a lot of times you'll try to skip ahead in the prize trade by going 2 for 1 with a big Pokemon to take a knockout. And I don't think this fire deck has any of those options. I mean, maybe if Alex had Skeledirge in play, like maybe Skeledirge with a pot helmet could go 2 for 1 on something. But Alex needs to come up with a way to deny Hunter from taking a knockout. And I just don't think it's going to be very easy to do with the board state that Hunter has built up at this point. Now, this is one of my favorite Pokemon in the fire deck. Ninetales coming in, taking a knockout with the 9-tailed dance attack. Allows you to put 9 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. During your next turn, this Pokemon cannot attack. So now Hunter's Cramorants can no longer take the knockouts, but he's got Guzma and Hala in hand, which can go search out a special energy and can go get Hop's Choice Band and Counter Energy. With Hop's Choice Band attached to Hop's Snorlax, Hunter will be able to do 200 damage with Hop Snorlax this turn. Dang, that's crazy. 200 damage. Just like that. Industrious Incisors, fill the hand to 5. I don't know. The amount of times I get told on stream that I need a prize cam, like, dude, I know. Listen, I know. All right. We're already operating with like a... We're already operating with like a $20,000 setup here, folks, okay? It's already one of the finest tabletop setups you'll ever experience outside of productions from the actual Pokemon company. I know. Things can always get better. Let's see what Alex can do. Can Alex pull a rabbit out of a hat and make some magic happen to deny Hunter the game-winning pieces? Hunter's got Snorlax in the active spot right now. Does have, I guess, the cast form, but that is game. Alex can take it down to 1-1 prizes. And all Hunter needs to do is attack with Hop's Snorlax. And that is game. GG's. These two best friends finishing a close game there between Fire and Colorless. Hunter advancing to a record of 2-1 with his Colorless deck featuring Slacking. Alex Carpenter dropping to 1-2 with the Fire deck, but Alex Carpenter is still your current badge leader here at Full Grip Games, with 8 badges earned in the last 11 months. That means he has won with 8 different Gym Leader Challenge decks. 8 different types of Gym Leader Challenge decks, which is incredibly impressive. All right, folks, I'm going to take a quick break before we get to round number 4. I just want to go make sure everything's okay with that very loud scream that I heard. So I will be right back after this quick break. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to check out FullGripGames.com for all the best Pokemon trading card game singles and sealed products. We've got the 4th of July sale going live tomorrow through July 11th. 15% off everything site-wide at FullGripGames.com. That's sealed products, singles, accessories, you name it. It's 15% off. Only at FullGripGames.com. I'll be right back after this. All right, no word on the scream. Okay, I went and asked one of the bartenders what it was, and he said, "I don't know. We're busy." Bro, that was like it was legitimately the loudest scream I have ever heard in my life. I think like because you guys heard it, and the bar is at least like I don't know 40 yards that way behind multiple doors. So yeah. Could have been a ghost, I guess. Could have been, dude. The ghost of Full Grip Past. But, anyways, let's, what else we got going on in the world of the Pokemon trading card game? Anything fun? The challenges are starting. We had John Patterson. For you Gym Leader Challenge heads out here, John Patterson, one of our GLC regulars, actually won our first... Not that one. Won our first league challenge of the 2026 season yesterday with Raging Bolt. So congratulations to John Patterson for the dub. I love seeing players embrace both formats, you know. I mean, there's a lot of players who are like, I'm standard only, or I'm Gym Leader Challenge only. To me, it's just more fun when you play more Pokemon cards, folks. It's more fun when you play it all. Standard, GLC, retro. Because that's the same thing in like Magic the Gathering. Like, one of the things that I envy so much about Magic the Gathering is that they have these different formats to enjoy. It just makes the game deeper and more rich, right? You've got standard, modern, legacy, draft, sealed, all that. Like, so many different ways to enjoy Magic. Now, I only play draft and like only very occasionally. But because I don't have to know anything about Magic in order to draft, right? All I have to do is like learn the new keywords and know the basic rules of how to play, which I do. I usually need somebody to help me with keywords because I feel like every single set Magic releases new keywords. Like, I don't know if that's just me being ignorant or if that's actually true, but like, dang, I feel like they've got new keywords like all the time. And at this point, Magic's just been around for so long that I feel like keeping track of all the keywords is like dang near impossible, but like I know how to, like I generally know how the game is played. So, I can always draft Magic. Like, it's fine. Drafting a red deck in Magic is like one of the easiest things you could do. It's very easy. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take all the red cards and then I'm gonna you're gonna try and deplete your health before you set up. And I just hope that I draw my cards in the right order. Yeah. So, but yeah, for Pokemon, that's one of the things that I've always kind of like hoped for the Pokemon TCG is that it gets more game modes for people to enjoy, right? I mean, for a little while, there's kind of the golden age of expanded where you could play standard or expanded regional championships, and man, those formats were just so different. And oh yeah, and Commander for Magic, of course. It was really cool when Pokemon had standard and expanded, because there were regional championships in both formats, and it was always so refreshing to get to go to an expanded regional championship after grinding standard for so long. It was always refreshing. It was nice to mix it up. You kind of like were forced to keep two. If you wanted to be a competitive Pokemon player, you were forced to keep like two collections of cards. You had to keep your standard collection and you had to keep your expanded collection. And that was cool. I just thought that was freaking cool, man. Now, there's just really only one game mode that's officially supported by the Pokemon Company. Obviously, we're trying to change that with Gym Leader Challenge. And Gym Leader Challenge is, as it is now, Gym Leader Challenge is the second most popular way to play the Pokemon TCG. Expanded format, not really supported. In Japan, they run some expanded side events sometimes. And I think there was an expanded side event at NAIC, potentially. But expanded is not really supported. I mean, there's leagues all over the country that run Gym Leader Challenge format as like an official league. So that's, Gym Leader Challenge is probably the second most played Pokemon format, and it's not really. They have it on TCG Live, I guess. Like they have like a truncated version of Gym Leader Challenge that you can play on TCG Live right now. So like that, I mean, that's not nothing, right? Like we're doing stuff out here. It's cool, and it's starting to happen. In the grand scheme of things, Gym Leader Challenge is not that old, right? Build and Battle kind of counts as a format in the Pokemon TCG, because it's kind of like Pokemon's version of Sealed, I guess. It's just not a very good format is the problem. I would even say that it's not even like not a format you ever want to play more than once. so like, yeah. I mean, who like finishes the pre-release Build and Battle format and is like, I need to play that a few more times? That would be like, not many people, I think, are finishing the Build and Battle pre-release formats and being like, oh yeah, that's got a lot of replayability, right? It's just don't. I think they're fine for what they are, but and then you've got cubes, right? So like cube drafting is another kind of format that you can enjoy in the Pokemon TCG. You got Cube Koga. Dang, dude. Freaking cubes. Love cubes. Love cubing. Cubing's fun. You've got Retro, right? PTCG Archive. You've got retro formats that you can build. We're doing a retro series at Full Grip Games, actually. So if you're in the greater Northeast Ohio area, dang, this banner is like way too big. Or no, I'm just too zoomed in. All right. July 4th sale, 15% off site-wide. God, I can't wait to show you guys my new advertisement. It's so good. For the video that I'm going to release tomorrow, got a new YouTube video dropping tomorrow, and I'm telling you, it's going to be the best advertisement. It's going to be the best Full Grip advertisement I've ever done. But yeah, we've got a retro series happening at Full Grip, which is just another way that Full Grip Games is promoting and supporting alternate formats in the Pokemon TCG, right? The Full Grip Games retro series, and the idea is just to host like a handful of them every year. We've already done the Sun and Moon to Lost Thunder event on April 26th. We had somewhere in the ballpark of 20 players for that one. But July 26th, the base Neo tournament. This one is going to be really exciting. The base Neo event. Dang, look at all these pictures. Look at Brady. Look at Brady enjoying playing Pokemon cards. Brady, I miss you, Brady. Look at young Jack. Look at young Ben Morse. Look at these action shots. That's crazy. Anyways, we've got the retro series continuing in July with Base Neo tournament. Base Neo, one of my favorite formats, retro formats to play. It's the Cleffa formats. Jason Klaczynski's got a really great write-up on Base Neo. On his blog. So if you're interested in attending the Full Grip Games Base Neo tournament, I highly suggest giving this blog a read. This is 3-time world champion Jason Klaczynski. That's basically how I learned about every retro format. If you're interested in learning more about the game's history, you pretty much cannot do better than starting with this blog. As you're getting information straight from a 3-time world champion who played the game from the very beginning. So just great resource there. Highly recommend it. We're on to our 4th and final round of GLC League Nights here at the Galapagos Full Grip Games. And it looks like in our final round, we've got Benjamin Morse versus Peter Nogue. Should be a good one, folks. We'll see what we got. Ben is the only 3-0. So if he loses, if he wins, he wins. If he loses, Peter is 2-0-1. So let's get into it. 4th and final round. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you, Swizzerton, for the 500 bits. Appreciate you, Swizzerton. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Is this a grass mirror? Dude, the grass finals? God, it's so sick. Grass is so sick. Grass is so back. Both of these players playing grass tonight. We have got an all-grass finals here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Night. Ben Morse on the left, Peter Nogue on the right. Peter is playing a Cherrim Grass deck that utilizes Cherrim with the Spring Bloom ability to accelerate grass energy into play. Cherrim Spring Bloom says, as often as you like during your turn, you can attach a grass energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box. But this is Gym Leader Challenge format, so none of the Pokemon have rule box. They are rule box lists. And that means that Cherrim is free to accelerate energy to anyone on Peter's board. Now, Peter just has to get enough energy in hand in order to effectively use that ability. And in order to help with that, Peter's deck also plays Eldegoss. Eldegoss has an ability that allows you to search your deck for 2 basic energy once during your turn. So with Eldegoss and Cherrim, you can search your deck for energy and then rain them down into play. And look at that, Ben playing Brock Scouting, taking a little bit of a key from Standard there. Brock Scouting is a card that has gained a lot of traction in Standard lately because of the prevalence of this little booger here in the active spots. Badoo with the Itchy Pollen attack, great for item locking and disrupting your opponent as you get your board set up. Grass is a more setup-oriented Gym Leader Challenge deck and is going to require a couple turns in order to get things flowing smoothly. So Badoo is a All-Star in the Grass Gym Leader Challenge deck, as you can retreat into it and item lock with Itchy Pollen to slow the opponent down while you set up your strategy. It looks like Ben is actually playing a really unique grass deck here. I think I see a Venonat, if my eyes don't deceive me, which means that we could be seeing a Venomoth, and it's probably the item locking Venomoth. Are we going to have an item lock battle here in the finals? Is that what we got going on? Yeah, it's Brock scouting for Badoo and Turtwig. And Escape Rope gonna push that Badoo into the active spot while allowing Ben to get a relevant energy drop, maybe to the Turtwig. And actually no energy drop. Instead, gonna save the energy in hand. Go Itchy Pollen on to Cherrim. And let's see what Peter's got. Top decks the Ball Guy, which otherwise would be a wonderful supporter this turn to help set up the board, but Peter cannot play any of the balls, so Ball Guy, really? Gonna play Ball Guy, even though none of these balls can get played because of Badoo's Itchy Pollen. So a little bit, I think I see a research in Peter's hand. So I'm kind of curious as to why Peter's going with Ball Guy in the face of a Badoo. Is this a huge oversight? Or does Peter have a master plan to thin the deck of these items and then research them away? Is this the master plan? Dude, you're item locked. You're item locked, bro. No, Peter. No, Peter. No, bro. No. Oh, no. Peter, you have a Badoo in play. Ben has a Badoo in play. All right, it's cool. This is actually going to buff out because Peter just used Ball Guy to get 3 balls to the hand, and then we'll research them next turn. It's actually genius. It's genius. It's genius. It's perfect deck thinning. All right, now Ben was getting ready to play. No items for you either, Ben. Uh-huh. All right, now we got energy to Turtwig. And item lock back. I'm telling you, Peter's played the thin. Now research those items out of here. Just get them gone, dude. Yeah, let it fly. No, Iono. No, Iono is so soft here. So soft. Go research. Oh, this is soft. They do go to the bottom of the deck, so that's nice. Both players going to get a fresh hand of 6. And it looks like Peter did find a couple more items he can't play. And a Marnie, so long as Peter doesn't reorganize the deck, he's kind of fine here because he can continue pushing these unplayable cards to the bottom. So just threw a bunch of item cards to the bottom of his deck, and then has a Marnie in hand too. So next turn, could Marnie... Holy moly, dude. The muscle band. And Ben now with a research. Discard his hand. Draw 7. The muscle band on the Badoo. This is a powerful Itchy Pollen attack. If Ben can just find... Yeah, this deck is sick. All right, we've got like the Jumpluff with a double attack. We've got a Toad Scroll in here. We've got... This is beast. Is this the new Grass Hotness? I have to know what Ben is playing. Ben, post list, Ben, post list. My GLC collection desires a new grass deck. It's crazy to think that in just a couple of months, the supporter Cynthia is getting power crept. Peter would be shuffling and drawing 8 cards here instead of 6 if he was playing the new Lily's, I don't know, Determination or something, whatever it is. Lily's, I don't know. What is it, folks? Lily's something? It's going to be worth $1 million in secret rare. That's for sure. It is Lily's Determination? Dang, I'm nuts. God, I'm sick. And now Peter not finding the cards he needs off of Cynthia and has to pass. And Ben is going absolutely wild with this Badoo. Item lock for 30 damage at a time. The craziness. Apparently Ben has been playing some of the trainer trials, Gym Leader Challenge mode on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. So if you were a fan of the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live and want to try out Gym Leader Challenge format, but have been intimidated to do so because of the size of the card pool and, you know, having to buy decks, well, Gym Leader Challenge has been hosted on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live a couple of times now during the Trainer Trials mode, so keep your eyes peeled on the Trainer Trial mode for Gym Leader Challenge to pop up. Now, it is a truncated version of Gym Leader Challenge format, as the Pokemon TCG Live application does not have support for X and Y or black and white cards. So that is 2 blocks of cards missing from true Gym Leader Challenge format. However, Sun and Moon on Gym Leader Challenge is still an enjoyable enough of an experience and a good way to get your feet wet with the format. Now, Ben's got Jumpluff in play, no longer item locked himself, so he can play his own items now. Dude, this Jumpluff, is this the Fluffy Barrage guy? Yeah, that's Rapid Strike. Fluffy Barrage. There he is. This Jumpluff is really cool. Was able to get it into play with the Skiploom that you can go search your deck for an evolution of Skiploom if you attach a grass energy from your hand to the Skiploom. So it looks like Ben is also playing Lurantis, and Lurantis got the Sunny Day ability, which makes it so that your grass Pokemon do 20 more damage with their attacks. So that makes it that Jumpluff is effectively doing 160 damage for just 1 energy, and could potentially knock out 2 threats, right? I mean, it's just kind of crazy how this deck works out like this. I mean, item lock, if I was gonna say, no, Ben's not there yet. If you promoted Jumpluff this turn, you would knock out the active, and then Peter could promote the Zarude, but I think it's better to just keep the item lock going, and I think Ben will probably come to that conclusion as well. I can't believe this Toad Scroll is in here too. The Toad Scroll, dude. I actually have him in my my standard card pool. The Slime Mold Colony, I'm pretty sure this is the Toad Scroll that Ben is running. Cards in your opponent's discard pile can't be put into their hand. Is that like just a 1-card counter for Versus Seeker? That doesn't seem like that good. So maybe it's a different Toad Scroll. Peter is able to evolve into Bramblegast, and Bramblegast has 150 HP right now because of its Resilient Soul ability, which makes it so that this Pokemon gets plus 50 hit points for each prize card your opponent's taken. Ben's taken 1 prize, so rocking 150 HP right now. This is a card that just continues to grow in strength as the game wears on. If the opponent has taken 5 prizes, it's got a massive 350 hit points, which is as big as it gets in Gym Leader Challenge format. Just absolutely huge. And there it is, the Toad Scroll. We got Ultra Ball. And the more I think about it, it does stop a good amount of recursion. If you just kind of think about the fact that in Gym Leader Challenge, a lot of times decks are just going to recycle their most powerful Pokemon using cards like Night Stretcher, Rescue Stretcher, Revitalizer, Clara, Nessa, Tulip, and then Versus Seeker also recovers supporter cards. So Ben has got the Guzma knockout this turn with Badoo on Peter's little Cherubi. I think Cherubi... Does Cherubi only have 30 hit points? It's got 40 hit points. So how did that Badoo take the knockout on Cherubi with 40 hit points? Is the Badoo doing 30 damage? There's something here I'm missing. But I'm not sure what it is. So if you know what it is, chat, let me know, because I'm curious. Badoo taking the KO, though. Ben down at 4 prizes remaining. And Peter still item locked. Yeah, that's right. The Cherubi had 10 damage on it from an earlier Itchy Pollen. That's how the knockout was taken. Got it. So Peter's got teammates now. Can search his deck for any 2 cards he wants to put into his hand, since one of his Pokemon was knocked out last turn. He just doesn't really have a lot of good options. I would say if Grotle is in the deck, then you absolutely want to get a Grotle so that you can continue setting up your board. Yeah, so Grotle is certainly one of the pieces. And we see Peter has identified that, goes and gets Grotle. Grotle can use its Sun-Drenched Shell ability and search for Eldegoss. Eldegoss has got an ability which allows you to search your deck for two energy to put into the hand. But Peter's just going to have to attach those energy one at a time right now, since the Cherubi is in the discard pile. And right now, I mean, Peter, it's crazy to think about. Peter actually cannot recover this Cherubi, like, at all. Because Toad Scroll is stopping cards like Clara from being played, and Badoo is stopping cards from Super Rod from being played. I mean, even if Ben were to let up on the item lock, the Toad Scroll is making it so that nothing can be recovered straight from discard pile to hand. And now Ben has found Lurantis. Lurantis has the Sunny Day ability. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Yeah, Lurantis got that Sunny Day ability, and that's going to make it so that Ben's Pokemon are doing 20 more damage. So now Badoo is item locking for 50. And Jumpluff is dealing 100 at a time. Can Ben go for all 6 prizes with Badoo? Maybe Ben is deciding to finally break his item lock, go into Jumpluff instead. And Jumpluff spinning attack swings for 80 damage twice to take the knockouts on Zarude. And now Peter can finally, for the first time in the game, play item cards, which is kind of crazy. Peter has been item locked for so long now. And we'll see if the use of his items will allow him to mount this 3-prize comeback that he needs to try and cook up now. Going to be soliciting Torterra with its massive 190 HP to try and do so. Now, Ben does not have a Grotle of his own in play yet. So, it looks like Ben's next attacker is Turtwig. But Ben doesn't have the next attacker guaranteed yet. So I don't really know how much I love Ben going in with the Jumpluff right away like this, because it's like you're trading. You kind of gave up your Jumpluff to knock out the Zarude, which wasn't really a threat, and now you give Peter Torterra to respond to your Jumpluff and the use of items to try and make a comeback. So we'll see how this works out for Ben, but I do think as far ahead as Ben is in this game, that there is still room for him to lose. He doesn't have that backup attacker yet. And really the strength of Ben's board state was coming from the fact that, and now we're going to see the Toad Scroll come into effect. Toad Scroll, stop. Toad Scroll. Yeah. We're going to see that Toad Scroll come into effect and totally stop Peter from being able to play Revitalizer. The Slime Mold Colony ability makes it so that Peter cannot play Revitalizer from his hand to recover 2 grass Pokemon, which he wanted to. Holy smokes. And you can play Revitalizer, but it just has no effect. What? That's so nuts. Usually in Pokemon, I feel like you're not allowed to do that kind of stuff, but it's funny. It's like playing, it's the same effect with, like, if you ever tried to Lysander a Primal Groudon EX. Yeah, the Revitalizer is kind of supposed to say discarded, but I guess I shouted down too early. I needed to like wait, let the Revitalizer attempt to be played, and then say stop playing the Revitalizer. It stays in the discard pile. Toad Scroll stops it. So sure, I guess I was a little too quick on the trigger there. I needed to let it play out for another couple seconds. But I think it was Yeah, technically the revitalizer is supposed to stay discarded, but I'm not tripping over it right now. It is like yeah, I'm not tripping. If they're okay with the revitalizer not being played, then I'm okay with it not being played. Ultimately, it's up to them. You know, if Ben wanted to be like, you know, actually, then he could be like, well, actually, and I would respect that too. So. It's 5-3 prices. Like I said, Ben does not actually have like a, unless he's got like Rare Candy Torterra right here. Now Ben can play Revitalizer. All right. Hop it down, Skip Loom to hand. Super Rod. And we're going back for Jump Bluff, huh? All right, Jump Bluff. Grass Energy. It would actually probably benefit Peter to have the Revitalizer in the discard pile as opposed to in his hand, frankly. Right? Because I doubt Peter's going to ever knock out the Toad Scroll, so it probably is just going to be a dead card floating around in his deck for the rest of the game. It's kind of funny. Yeah, Ben must be having Torterra problems because he's got all of these energy on the Turtwig, but was not able to muster up a response to the Torterra. However, Badoo is item locking for 50 damage, which is not nothing. Okay, this is the world's strongest Badoo. A 50 damage swing there. With the Muscle Band boosting by 20 and the Lurantis Sunny Day ability also boosting by 20. And Ben just doesn't really have a lot of great attackers to use at this point. I mean, is relying on Badoo and the Jump Bluff. I mean, I think it's probably just going to be Jump Bluff again next turn, right? To do 160. Which will finish off the Torterra so long as it doesn't get healed. Another energy going on to Peter's Brambleghast. And I'm thinking at this point, yo, Hex? Missed opportunity to play Revitalizer. You could have played Revitalizer. You could have played the Revitalizer. He played Hex Maniac. Missed opportunity for Peter. Could have let that Revitalizer fly. Had the Hex Maniac to turn off abilities. And I'm saying, dude, Peter could actually win this because Ben's board is like not very good, all things considered. And like I said, I really disagree. If Ben ends up losing this game somehow, I'm gonna trace it back to the turn that Ben decided to break the item lock and send Jump Bluff into Peter's Torterra. I don't think that play was correct. And if Ben does end up losing, I think you could probably trace it back to that. I think that Ben could have relied on Itchy Pollen for a few more turns there. With the Zarude active, I don't really think that Ben had to try and speed the game up at that point. And now, I mean, Peter is like right back in this game because Ben has not been able to build up his ace attacker. Basically, this game is coming down to the fact that Ben cannot respond to Torterra with his own Torterra. Ben is kind of stalled out with only a Turtwig. And must have Grottle prized, I'm thinking. And with Hex Maniac played this turn, Ben cannot use the Rapid Strike Skip Loom's ability to instantly evolve into Jump Bluff. So he is in a real tough spot. And has to end. And not going to be able to use an effective attack this turn. Going to have to allow Peter to basically take another knockout for free. And then Peter has got the Bramble Gas just sitting there on the bench menacingly, right? And every time Ben takes a knockout, Bramble Gas is just increasing in power. N is played. Ben's going to get 3 off the N. Peter gets 4. Peter's got Sonya, Ultra Ball, Muscle Band, Escape Rope. I mean, this Torterra is swinging for 200 damage every turn. And Skiploom's got free retreat. Are we just going to go in with Turtwig and swing? Like, that feels horrible. Not the Turt, dude. You gonna sack the Turt? I mean, he gets to do some damage. I think it's Roselia, like, as funny as it is. That, I mean, if you've prized Grottle, then why you got all this faith in the Turt? And it's going to be retreat to Roselia, pass for Ben. So now it is Peter's opportunity. And all that thinking Ben did about which Pokemon to promote, and Peter has got Escape Rope. So now Ben has to go with his second choice. And we know how close his first and second choices were, so it's like, okay. Is it going to be the Toad? Maybe it is the Toad Scroll. It's the Toad Scroll. I think that's fair. That was like, what's the Toad Scroll done for you lately? And then Peter's got Sonya, which he can play as a supportive return. Get either 2 grass energy or 2 basic Pokemon on the deck. I don't know that there's 2 basic Pokemon to get, so probably not. Oh, Peter's got Gardenia's Vigor. That's cool. Gardenia's Vigor is actually really good in combination with Eldegoss. Wow, that's so cool, actually. I never really put that together. Eldegoss with Gardenia's Vigor. You can use Eldegoss, search your deck for 2 grass energy, then play Gardenia's Vigor, then attach them, which is really neat. I love that, actually. I don't know that I've ever said anything nice about Gardenia's Vigor ever, but in this situation, I actually do like that card. Peter's just going to retreat back into Torterra. 200 damage, Evo Press. Tie ball game, folks. It was looking really, really bleak for Peter early on, but we are back. And this game is going places, but not without a fight. Ben Morris has got his abilities back now and can use Skiploom's ability, which allows him to attach a grass energy from his hand to Skiploom and then search his deck for Jump Bluff. Jump Bluff has the Fluffy Barrage ability, which makes it so that it can attack twice. Spinning attack does 60, but Lurantis on the bench buffs that by 20. So it does 80. And since you can attack twice, that's effectively 160 damage for just 1 energy. And then Ben has got Arven for turn. going for a timer ball and a float stone. And I think if Ben hits... I mean, timer ball heads could get Roserade. He's got to have Grottle prized, right? I think that's what we're thinking. And then shuffling up, so maybe not going for the... His final 3 prizes got to be kind of trash, I have to imagine. Because he's not playing the timer ball yet either. Which is kind of crazy. Because you figure... I mean, there are 3 Pokemon in play right now that would love to get evolved. Which one of the... He's had to have got an evolution Pokemon there, I have to imagine, right? I don't know. No, I don't think he got an evolved Pokemon off his prizes, so... So Ben, able to take a knockout on the Torterra, but now... I mean, like, look at this Bramblegast! Look at this Bramblegast. Look at him! Look at this, is going to be a Bramble sweep. Bramblegast has 300 hit points right now. A max HP of 300. And Peter may not have ever gotten Cherim into play. It doesn't matter. He's manually attached 4 energy to Bramblegast. And now Powerful Needles does 80 damage times the amount of heads he flips. That's 2 tails. Oh my gosh, if he doesn't get 2 heads, then Jumpluff lives. Oh, just 1 heads. But with the muscle band, oh, I missed the muscle band. The muscle band actually is the difference maker. And Powerful Needles will do 100 damage to take a knockout on Jumpluff. And Peter ties it up at 2-2 prizes. Was that just a double tails on timer ball? You got to be kidding. That cannot be the second timer ball tails on stream. No shot, dude. Ben may be in an unwinnable board state now. I guess it's all winnable if Venomoth is in the deck. Because Venomoth does this like confuse and item lock thing, which could, I guess, buy you enough time. I think the final 2 prizes are they Venomoth and Grottle? And Ben's got Field Blower to remove the muscle band from the Bramblegast. And these guys are not playing quickly, folks. I mean, they are really taking their time with their game actions as this game inches closer to 40 minutes. And Peter's already got 1 tie. Ben just has to pass with Lurantis active. I wonder if Ben is playing a rare candy in his deck. Probably not. The thing is, I have to imagine Ben is not playing rare candy. And the thing about this is, you know, at Full Grip, we're already implementing the no more +3 turns. We're playing +1 now. So, I mean, the time limit is much more real now than it used to be. And really 40 minutes is plenty of time to finish a game at Gym Leader Challenge. I think that Gym Leader Challenge players get in the habit of playing slowly because oftentimes it is encouraged for tournament organizers to give players 40 minutes to play a single round. And that's because there's always, newer players getting into the format, and there's a lot of cards the players have to read, and also it's a single prize format, right? So you're not taking 2 prizes at a time usually. But yeah, that is something I'll say. A lot of times, Gym Leader Challenge players get way too comfy with playing way too slow. So that is something that I do want to try and encourage across the board. Chop, chop, pick it up. GLC players, you don't actually have all day. Like right now, like literally, I think Peter's probably going to take half the remaining time off the clock with this turn, right? And then Ben will have one more turn, and then he's going to play and I get it. You're playing a singleton format. You really want to think through you got to pick a play and go. Because you really can't be taking longer than 40 minutes to play a game of Pokemon cards. You ought not to. It's too long. Too long. It's too dang long. All right, here we go. Back to flipping. Powerful Needles. 4 coin. Needs 2 heads. There's 1. There's 3. Annihilated. 240 damage. Peter goes down to 1 prize remaining. Is there anything Ben can do? He's got Raihan in hand, but I'm pretty sure his options are severely limited. And with the timer winding down, I have to imagine that this is probably going to be the last turn of regulation. Ben will probably be turn 0 unless he ends up making this decision in the next 20 seconds. And you know what? I just doubt it. So let's see. Raihan. Energy to Venonats. And here we are, turn 0. Are you guys doing +1 or +3? +3. It's +3? I've been telling everybody it's +1. That's crazy. All right. Did I lie? Are we doing +3? I guess we're doing +3.
We got official clarification from TPCI that it doesn't start till September 1st. So I'm just rolling with it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Apparently TPCI has said it doesn't start till September. So we're back on +3. It's +3 turns is back, baby. +3 turns is so back. Why does nobody tell me these things? And Guzma. Peter wins. Let's go. Peter is your winner. Oh, no. Has to flip. Holy smokes. All right. And he gets there. That's right. GG's, GG's, GG's. Peter is your winner. Yeah, I just assumed. I was like, oh, yeah, Guzma. It's game. No, actually, it's not game. You do have to flip aheads. Crazy finale there. GG's. Peter Nogue going on with a record of 3-0-1. Now, are there any other... Let's see. Are there any other XO1s here? Jack Hooper is also 201. So it's possible if Jack Hooper wins his final round, Jack Hooper could potentially win tonight if he's got better resistance than Peter. So it's going to come down to whether or not did Jack Hooper win. Hello, can anybody hear me? You guys hear me? Is this thing on? Did Jack Hooper win? Nobody's answering. Nobody is answering my walkie-talkie. Why won't you answer me? Anyways, winner tonight's will be between Jack Hooper and Peter. All right, let's see. Who looks more excited? Which one of you looks excited? Do either of you look excited? It's got to be Peter, right? Which one of those players looks like they won? it's got to be Peter, right? I'm assuming. All right, I'm gonna say it. Peter, probably your winner tonight. Does he look like he won? No. No, that's a look of longing, not a look of victory for sure. That's a look of, I got it next time. For sure. Peter Nogue, your winner tonight. Grass. Bramblegast. Awesome finale. And thank you guys all so much for watching the stream. Again, huge 4th of July sale happening here at Full Grip Games. Online at fullgripgames.com. 15% off everything. Site-wide, July 4th through 11th. Shopping at fullgripgames.com directly supports the content that I create here on Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I am on vacation next week, so I will not be streaming next week, but I'll be back the week following, and we've got some really exciting events happening here in July. That base Neo tournament at the end of the month. Mark your calendars for that. You can find out more about the base Neo tournament on fullgripgames.com. Again, no streams next week. I'm on vacation with my family, but I'll be back the following week, and we've got a base Neo tournament happening. So all you retro fans out there, mark your calendars. Y'all have a great night. Take it easy.